This is Steve Schiffman, and thank you for joining me again on another webcast and podcast that we send out at least once a week. We're trying to get to 4 times a week. Today, I want to talk to you about why sales don't happen. And it's an interesting concept because I spoke to someone today. I do the coaching. And so I was working with this particular individual, and he said to me, my sales aren't happening the way I want them to happen. So I said, well, how do you want them to happen? Tell me what you want. And he said, well, I want everything to close. Well, of course, that's not going to happen. Maybe 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 10. It depends on what you're selling. And you know that better than I do. But the fact of the matter is that you have to be realistic about what your expectations are. And there's only one reason why sales don't happen, and that is because your proposal or your recommendation isn't correct. In other words, there's something missing. There's something that they don't get. Because if they got it, if the price was right, the product was right, if all these things are right, you're talking to the right person at the right time, it should happen. So what's missing? Usually, interesting enough, you're not talking to the right person. Oh, you thought you were. You said, are you the right person? You qualified that person. I know what you did, but they're not the right person. So you went ahead and you had that discussion. Instead of understanding how and why they do what they do, you said, are you the right person? Is there anyone else I need to talk to? But what you fail to realize is that every single person on the face of the earth talks to someone else. They always do. They talk to someone else about what they're doing, and you didn't catch that. You didn't catch who is their confidant. Who will they go to when they're done talking to you? What does your proposal look like? Is it readable to someone else? Or is it only explainable by you? Listen to that again. Is it only explainable by you? Therefore, how can you expect someone to get it if you're the only one that gets it? Because you're the only one that can read it out loud. You follow? So it's important that what you do is you put together something, a document, that someone else can read, because it's going to be looked at by somebody. Now, it could be that they throw it, that is your contact, throws it on someone's desk and says, look at it. Or it could be that they really discuss it. They could, in fact, invite you to discuss it. But no matter what, you need to understand that. You need to understand what it is you're doing and who else is involved. Most people don't. Most people really don't. So they miss something. And in missing something in that proposal, or as I like to call it, a recommendation, the whole sale doesn't happen. That's the only reason. Something's wrong. Could be price. Could be the product. Could be the way you presented it. Could be they don't need it. Could be anything, but you need to know what it was. Now, I'm not saying to you, and some people do, you call up afterwards and try to get it back and say, did I miss anything? Nah, that's not going to work. When they say no, it's no. But I don't want to get to that point. You don't want to get to the word no. So what you need to do is have a validation or verification step in the middle of your process. You need to have an opportunity to come back to them and say, look, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what may make sense. And let them react. Their reaction tells you everything. It tells you whether or not the sale will happen. Because if they have no interest in participating with you in making the sale, you have no interest. They have no interest in helping you. And you will not make the sale. These are important factors. There are certain rights, R-I-G-H-T, that need to be present in every sale, no matter what you're selling. By the way, no matter what you're selling, it's the same as everybody else. I love when people say, Steve, you don't get it. My product is really unique. I don't even know how to answer that anymore. After 9,000 companies, 500,000 sales reps, I don't know what to say. The coaching that I do comes out the same way. It's inevitably the same thing. I'm inevitably working with the same people over and over again, even though they're selling different products. Give some thought to that. Give some thought to how you separate your product from a commodity to what it is that you want to sell it as. You don't want to sell a commodity, but it is. If you're selling anything that someone else sells, you're selling a commodity. And we have created commodities by reducing the price, by saying, okay, I'll do it for this, I'll do it for that, I'll do it for this. See, we've created the commodity. You don't need to be the one to create the commodity. Keep your price high, or keep your price at a reasonable price that someone's going to buy it and be able to justify things. By the way, don't forget that I do coach individuals. If you're interested in that, let me know. Let me know. You can reach me at steveschiffman.com, schiffman@steveschiffman.com if you want to email me. You can call me. Just go to the website. You can reach me through that. And by the way, I want to thank the people who have written. I've got some great comments that we're including into our program. Some really nice things, people saying, and some things that are really kind of blunt. Like, Steve, tell more about this. Don't just let us hang. That's what I get now. Don't just leave it hanging out there. Tell us what to do. I think everybody wants to know what to do. I think your buyers want to know what to do. Can you say to your buyers, this is what I think you should do? If you can't, then you don't have the relationship you think you do. If you can't say to someone, this is, after all this is what I think you should do, you do not have the relationship that you think you do. Listen to that again. If you can't say to someone, this is what I think you should do, you probably don't have the relationship that you think you should do. Last thing I want to mention, for those of you who are driving in your car right now, or those of you who are in your home and it's air conditioned, it's hot outside. You're going through the summer doldrums. And you're going to hit August. And August is terrible to sell. I will tell you that. But you'll tell me that first. I don't agree, but you'll tell me that. Don't let that happen to you. Whatever else you do, do not let sales drop, prospecting drop. Remember, there are 3 things you need to do. You need to prospect, you need to make presentations, which means you need to find people to talk to, and you need to understand your product. But if you let this August go by because it's too hot and you don't want to prospect, you're going to be in trouble. Not today, not tomorrow, but September, October, November, possibly the end of the year. Be careful about that. Be careful in your commitment to prospect on a regular basis. If you need help, let me know. Let me know what I can do to help you. By the way, if you want to win the book, here's the question. If you want to win a free book, all you have to do is email me with this word, solid. This word today is solid. Just write solid any place on that piece of paper, solid. But do me a favor, give me your name and address so I can mail you the book if we choose it. The word solid is the word for this week. Solid. S-O-L-I-D. Because I want you to be a solid salesperson. A solid person. A stand-up person, as he used to say. I want you to be hot and excited by what you're doing. Someone called me today and said, I'm kind of bored with what I'm doing. Don't let that happen. Don't ever let that happen. If that is you, get a new job. If that is you, go find something that excites you. Don't sell products that you don't like. Don't do anything you don't want to do. We all occasionally have to. But you, as a salesperson, are somewhat independent. Do what you want to do. Anyway, I'm done. 10 minutes. I told you. We'll do 10 minutes only. No dribble. No nonsense. No, well, here's a theory. You could try this. Here's the things that I learned. I don't do that. I want to give you something to take away. And if all it does is excite you a little bit, if all it does is get you pumped up, then that's okay too. Remember, I'll be with Tony Robbins on August 18th in Edison, New Jersey. Join me there if you want to. Love to meet you. Love to meet you. And thanks for writing. Remember, it's Schiffman at steveschiffman.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And, as I always tell you, you humble me by your presence.